Okay, class, we're here to talk about language arts. This week's story is Watching in the Wild. All right, in phonics this week, we're looking at a couple of different sounds. We're looking at the AR sound, the ARE, and the AIR. So when we're reading these sentences, that's what we want to look for. Bradley sits on a chair in the backyard.
So we're listening for what sound, Mrs. Bachelier? Is it the air sound?
The air sound.
Oh, the
that's
air.
What, the
oh gosh,
air
so I got to
sound.
read all these words to find out what has the air sound.
Exactly. So you want to read these. Listen for the air sound. So the first one we have here is chair. All right. So chair, because that has the air sound. The next one is he is careful to sit very still. So we want to look at that air sound. So what word is that going to be? Careful. Can you hear that? Careful. All right. Our next one is going to be he does not want to startle or scare animals he is watching. So the next word we're going to be looking at on that one is going to be scare. Again, you can see the A-R-E, the air sound. The next one we're looking at, he watches a pair of birds he watches a pair of birds peck, not peek, he's not peeking anything, peck in the grass for insects. And we know that birds do this, and we're very thankful they do. So the word we see on here, we see pair. Again, we have that air sound. The next one we see is the birds are finding insects near the porch stairs. Okay, so on this one here, we're looking for stairs. Again, we have the A-I-R, the air sound. The last one we have is an example of one of our phonics is going to be Bradley can see a hare sitting in the shade under a tree. So we hear the word hare. So again, we have that air sound. Okay, and then on the next one we have is a young...
Just tell them to finish.
Oh, I'm sorry. The next one we're going to do is make sure that you guys go and you have page 189. Just want to make sure each one of you guys can see that. And you want to go ahead and finish that page. So we helped you a little bit, but now you're going to finish the rest of that for us. All right, so right now we're going to have Mrs. Lopez come up and she's going to read you the book on Jane Goodall. One thing that's really neat, it's a biography. That's something you guys have been reading and working on your biography reports, and very proud of a lot of you that already got them back in. So I'm going to let Mrs. Lopez go ahead and read that to you.
All right, so Jane Goodall is the book that we're going to be reading right now, and this is about her life. This is a picture also of what she looked like at the time when she first went out to watch the chimpanzees. And you know what, you guys? You can also take a test on this if you're interested. It is a lower level, but that's okay. You can take a test. I'll give you the test number for ARP at the end. Remember, with the biography, they have table of contents, or your nonfiction books have table of contents. This book has the table of contents here. It's showing you. It's got the introduction and what page it starts on. Early life, what page it starts on. Talks about leaders, and again the page, history making, and so it's got also has an index. We learned about indexes, and glossaries are at the end of this book.
That'll give you some additional information.
So, Jane Goodall is a famous scientist. She studies chimpanzees. She also works to protect animals. Her early life. Jane was born on April 3rd, 1934. She lived in London, England. Jane had many pets. She wanted to study animals. She was a leader. Goodall's dreamed of living in Africa, and in 1957, she went to Kenya. She visited a friend's farm there. In Africa, she met Louis Leakey. He was an archaeologist. Oh, an archaeologist is a person that goes and they're like studying all the rocks and fossils and things like that. As you can see, they dig stuff up and they try to find older things. I'm trying to think of like
Artifacts.
bones and artifacts. Yes, artifacts. She helped him dig for fossils. So here they go, what it looked like. They'd go to little areas and they'd try to find old artifacts and fossils, like dinosaur bones too. Leakey asked Goodall to study chimpanzees. Remember, what did she really like, guys? Animals. She lived with the chimps in the forest. She watched them for many days. She learned about chimps. She saw that they used twigs as tools. This was important. Scientists had thought only humans used tools, like your fork. When you use your fork or your spoon to pick up your food. Goodall works to help animals. In 1977, she started the Jane Goodall Institute. It protects apes and their habitats. Oh, we learned about habitats too, didn't we, Mrs. Batchelor?
We sure did.
That was one of our vocab words.
It was.
Goodall has won many awards for her research. She continues to work to save animals. And here's just a little glossary page. Here are some quick facts. When she was born, where she was born, what she was known for as a scientist. And then here she's got just another timeline that talks about more different things. So if you wanted to listen to this again and then take the ARP test, the number that you're going to put is 186180. I'll say that one more time. Actually, I think I'll write it on the board so you can look at it real quick if you need to.
I think that's a really good idea.
1, 8. Let me grab a different marker. These are getting really
They're getting worn out, we would have to say.
out. Yes, they are. So I'll try it one more time. Hopefully this will be darker. 1. Well,
We can see it better.
8. 6, 1, 8, 0. You guys see that?
186180.
All right, so you guys can go ahead and you can take an ARP test on that if you're interested. All right, Mrs. Batchelor.
Okay, let's go back and look at our vocabulary for this week, and we have some sentences we put up. So we have, first one we had, would you need a lot of patience to carefully and neatly unwrap a present?
Oh no, Mrs. Batchelor, I want to just rip that thing open.
If you're gonna just rip it open, you're not practicing patience.
Oh,
So you
mean
have
I'm not
to-
being careful?
No, you need to take the tape at one end and take it off the tape at the other. Slowly take off the ribbon. That would be doing it patiently. But I bet most of you at your birthday parties do not do that patiently. You are so excited to find out what's inside.
You're not doing it carefully?
Yeah, not carefully or patiently. Okay. Would a diligent person be more likely to finish a tedious job than a lazy person would be?
Oh, remember tedious, doesn't have to do with kind of being boring, huh?
Tedious means it's going to take longer. It's
Oh.
not as fun. But someone that was going to do tedious job, if they took their time,
Do
guess
it
what?
over and over
They
and
would do it
again.
over and over and make it easier, and it would be a job done well. But a lazy person probably wouldn't want to do that. What is something you might see in the distance? So I want you guys to think about that for just a moment. I want you to pause. Don't watch the rest of the video. Don't be so fast. But I want you to think about something you might see off in a distance. If I'm looking out here and I look off in a distance, I can see Stater Brothers across the street. That's what I could see off in the distance. So think about something that you might see off in the distance and talk with your mom or your dad or your brothers and sisters who are around. What animal is extinct?
Oh, I know.
Mrs. Lopez is going to give me an answer. Which one is it?
Dinosaurs.
Dinosaurs. They are extinct. We don't see big, huge Tyrannosaurus Rex walking around anymore, so dinosaurs tend to be extinct. Do you guys know of any other animals that might be extinct?
There's a lot of them that are. They're getting close to
They're
being
getting very
extinct
close.
these
How about a
days.
white tiger? Tiger is very close to
Some
that.
of them might have learned about their animals starting to be extinct in
And
their animal reports.
when they were doing their animal reports, obviously, yeah, that would be
Yeah.
good. All right, let's look at, do students have different personalities in our class? Are you guys all just the same? You sit the same, you do everything the same, or do you have a lot of different personalities? I believe that you guys have a lot of different personalities. Think of a couple of students in your class and look to see what you think their personalities might be like. Will they be closer to yours or maybe a little different than yours?
Are some of you guys more happy?
Some of you more serious,
Some more energetic?
some a lot more energetic. Okay, here's some vocabulary questions. We were just continuing on. These are your other vocabulary words. Remember, you have pledge, blended, cradled, raggedy, and crumpled. Okay, those were some other vocabulary. Okay, so here's what I want you guys to do with these. I want you to write a question sentence for each of these vocabulary words and have your mom or your dad answer your question. So you're going to take these words and you're going to write a question. Okay, and then also make sure that those sentences have a question mark at the end because you're asking a question. Make sure the first word in your sentence is capitalized. And make sure that you have between 7 or 8 words in those sentences. You can use adjectives to help you out and make things a little bit more exciting in your sentence. So we're going to have you go ahead now and you're going to turn to page 190. Let me find this on here so that you can see it. I want to show you it. So this is going to be page, whoops,
Wrong
hold
page.
on.
Wrong side.
Oh, sorry, wrong side. Apologize, that is the wrong page. Let me get to the right one. Here we go. I'm doing 2 cameras in here because we want to make sure everything gets recorded, but you guys should be able to see that this is 190 and we want to make sure that you go ahead and complete that. You guys can do that on your own. You won't have any problem with that. All right, so here's the time. My brain's feeling a little overloaded, probably yours too. So go ahead and pause this video. You actually can stop the video once we're done here. Go and do a Go Noodle brain break. That'll give you a little bit of blood flowing to your head. Then once you're done, you're going to go in your blue readers. We'll be looking at page 280 and 281. Look and read over this page for the use of the graphic aids chart that you're going to be doing. You're going to be completing page 188 and your language arts pages. So you'll need this page just to sort of review and be able to see it, and then that'll help you complete your pages.
Can we go ahead and do it? Switch up.
So, blue readers, guys. I think I'm going to see if I can pull it open real quick just so you can see. Let me see if I can find it. It's going to be, let's see. Sorry, I guess I probably should have had it open, ready to go. I had it open earlier, and then I ended up shutting it up. And I was looking for some other stuff, so you guys probably already have it. Oh, there we go. So it also says focus skills at the top of it, right here with focus skills. Oh, look, it's got a plant here, and it's got a diagram.
Wow, that looks like a graphic aid.
Graphic aid. So that's what you guys are going to be doing something with this. I want you to read this page over as Mrs. Bachelier said. It also shows you the monkey here, or the chimpanzee, sorry, and it labeled it just like you guys did on the bee last week. So on this page though, you are going to, as Mrs. Bachelier said, let me see if I can find it, 188, which looks like this one. And so you're going to use this information up here at the top. One side says chimps, one side says gorillas. you're going to look, it says the weight, it says their fur color, it says their habitat. Oh, Mrs. Bachelor, what does habitat mean?
Where a particular animal might live in their surroundings.
Very good. And you know what? Remember also the Venn diagram that Mrs. Bachelor showed us where the circles and they connected in the middle means they were the same? If you look on here, you'd see that the chimps and the gorillas, their habitat is both. They both live in Africa. That might be one of the questions on here too. And then it talks about their diet, what they eat. So you're going to look, there's only 4 questions to answer, and you're going to use this information to answer those questions. So, and then the next thing that we'll be doing, the final thing that we will do, after you guys shut this off, take a breath, do your paper you need to do, then turn this back on, and we're going to go over the special forms of be. So basically it's verbs again, guys. But remember we talked about there's different kinds of verbs. There's your helping verbs, and there's your verbs with action, and your linking verbs, and all of those different ones. Well, we're going to do, these are called forms of be verbs.
And we don't mean like a bee stinging you, do we?
Oh, no. We learned about those last week. We're done with those bees right now.
All right, bees are gone.
Except for when you get to science. There will be a couple questions for your test. All right, so some verbs do not show action. So we talked about that, and we said Mrs. Lopez does and Mrs. Bachelor does, and you had to do actions. If you could do it, it was a verb. Well, we got some that don't follow that rule. They tell what someone or something is like. The verbs am, is, and are tell about the present and what is happening now. And then some verbs do not show action. You also we're going to talk about in this lesson, when you have only one subject, you would use was. And then when you have 2 or more that you're talking about, then that you're going to use is were. Okay, so was and were are your forms of be, which are your verbs we're going to be using today. So if it's talking about only one, we want to use was. But if it's talking about 2, which means they've added the S to it, right, to make it plural, more than one, we're going to use the word were. These are also things that happen in the past. So was and were mean the past. So we're going to give a couple examples. We're going to give one for the present, and then 2 for the paper you're going to do now, which means the past. So the chimpanzees were shy at first. Oh, look, chimpanzees. What does that mean, Mrs. Bachelor?
It has an S, meaning plural, so we need to use were.
We're going to use were more than one. Jane was discouraged when she didn't see the chimps. Oh, Jane is only one person, so it would be she was discouraged. She wanted things to happen right now. I think you guys are like that all the time too, huh? You don't like to be patient. You don't like to wait. You want things right, what?
Now
Want it to be. But she was discouraged. She had to wait. The girl is down the street. It's talking about one girl, and so she is down the street. All right, so the paper you're going to be doing, I'm not sure if I have it on here. Oh, not yet. Sorry. So you're going to go ahead and you're going to pull out those green vocabulary pages, and you are going to do the first one. The first grammar page, it should be 50. Let's see if I have it here. 80. 85. So let's look at this. I'll start with you with the very first one. So it says Jane Goodall blank a scientist. She is a scientist, she am a scientist, or she are a scientist. What do you guys think? I think she is one.
Is would be the appropriate one.
Yep. So on this top half, you're going to deal with the time period with your verb now. And then on your bottom half, let's look at number 5. It says complete the sentence to tell about the past. Write was or were to complete the sentence. It says, the zoo blank, so much fun. The zoo, oh, I don't see an S here. I think it's just one zoo. So
Just one. So if it's only one and no S, we're going to use
was. All right, so you guys have 3 to do on present tense or like happening right now, and you have 3 to do on verbs that happen in the past.
They can do this. They got this.
You guys got it. All right. Now, after you finish that, you shut this video off. You finish your page, then it's time for Computers with Mrs. Jackson. Have fun at computers.
Bye-bye.